Welcome to today's What Will Move the Market show. I'm your host Prem. It's Friday, October 24, 2025, and here is everything you need to know as the markets open for today. US equity markets surged higher on Thursday, driven by optimism over trade relations and strong gains in major tech companies. The Dow Jones added 144 points or 0.31%, closing at 46,734. The S&P 500 rose 0.58% to 6,738, while the Nasdaq Composite led the pack, climbing 0.89% to 22,942, powered by gains in Nvidia, Broadcom and Amazon. The rally came after the White House confirmed that President Trump will meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping on October 30th to discuss trade, easing concerns around the ongoing trade tensions between the world's two largest economies. Tech giants rebounded strongly, with Tesla reversing earlier losses to lead the gains. Oracle shares jumped nearly 3% in after-hours trading following an upbeat revenue forecast. Energy stocks also rallied as oil prices surged over 5% after the US imposed fresh sanctions on Russia's two biggest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, over the Ukraine conflict. However, investors largely shrugged off potential inflationary risks from the spike in oil prices, focusing instead on the positive trade developments. Indian ADRs showed mixed performance overnight. On the positive side, Infosys gained 0.34%. Banking ADRs faced selling pressure, with ICICI Bank down 2.01% and HDFC Bank declining 1.94%. The overall tone suggests some caution among investors ahead of domestic market cues, though IT stocks remain supported by trade deal optimism. Asian markets opened higher this morning, tracking Wall Street's gains and improved risk sentiment following the Trump-Xi meeting announcement. An MSCI gauge of Asian shares rose around 0.3% at the open. Japan's Nikkei futures were trading at 49,180, indicating a positive start, while futures for Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index pointed to a strong opening at 26,139. Gift Nifty is indicating a positive opening for Indian markets, trading around 26,040 as of early morning. This suggests Indian markets could gap up slightly. Gift Nifty is in line with the US market close, adding to some positivity after yesterday's somber close. The most significant global development is the confirmation of the Trump-Xi summit, scheduled for October 30th, which has substantially improved risk appetite across global markets. President Trump stated he will press major buyers on Russian oil imports during this meeting, following his assertion that India would reduce such purchases. Fresh US sanctions on Russia's oil giants Rosneft and Lukoil are creating supply concerns in energy markets. These two companies together account for nearly half of Russia's oil exports, about 2.2 million barrels per day. Crude oil prices jumped over 5%, with WTI settling near $62 per barrel, and Brent rising above $65. The Trump administration is also weighing a quantum computing boost to counter China, which sparked an industry rise. Gold prices rose 1% to around $4,150. This comes after 2 days of sharp sell-off in the yellow metal. Indian equity indices extended their winning streak to 6 consecutive sessions yesterday, with the Sensex closing at 84,556, up 130 points, and Nifty settling at 25,891, gaining 23 points. However, both indices pared most of their intraday gains after hitting fresh highs, with Nifty touching 26,104 during the day. The IT sector emerged as the star performer, rallying over 2% led by Infosys, which surged 4% after some promoters opted out of its record 18,000 crore rupee share buyback. HCL Tech gained 2.43% and TCS rose 2.24%, all driven by optimism over potential India-US trade deal benefits. The Defense Acquisition Council approved procurement proposals worth 79,000 crore rupees, benefiting defense stocks. Cipla entered an agreement with Eli Lilly to distribute and promote tirzepatide diabetes drug in India. FII sentiment is showing signs of improvement after weeks of outflows, with domestic flows remaining robust. The Midwest IPO is set to list today with grey market premium, suggesting around 10% listing gains. For Nifty 50, immediate resistance stands at 25,950, with further barriers at 26,000 and 26,100. A decisive break above 26,100 could open the path toward 26,150 to 26,300. On the downside, immediate support is placed at 25,780, followed by 25,700 and 25,600. The overall trend remains bullish, as long as Nifty holds above 25,700. Crude oil remains the highlight in commodity markets after Thursday's dramatic $3 rise. WTI crude jumped to $61.72 per barrel, while Brent crude rose to $65.80, marking a two-week high following U.S. sanctions on major Russian oil producers. This is the most significant single-day gain since the Israel-Iran conflict escalated in June. Oil markets will remain volatile as Trump plans to discuss Russian oil imports with President Xi next week. With Gift Nifty indicating a gap-up opening and the index nearing all-time highs, traders should be cautious about chasing momentum immediately at the open. Wait for the first 15 to 30 minutes to gauge whether the opening strength sustains or if profit booking emerges at higher levels. IT stocks remain in focus and could see continued buying on trade deal optimism, making them attractive for positional trades. However, given the 6-day winning streak, some consolidation or minor profit booking cannot be ruled out. Bank on support levels around 25,750 for Nifty and avoid FOMO trades at the highs. Energy and oil marketing companies may see action due to the crude price spike. Defense stocks could remain in focus following the 79,000 crore procurement approval. Keep a close watch on global cues through the day, especially any developments on US inflation data that's due today, as it could impact market sentiment. Stay tuned for the evening wrap and send in your questions. Trade wisely and make it a profitable Friday.